Chapter 1 Fields of Lavender. The lavender fields of the Valor Valley were famous for their healing properties, their violet blooms stretching as far as the eye could see. For centuries, these fields had flourished, providing the nearby village with herbs and medicines that had earned them prosperity. But this year, the fields were dying. Joran, a young Pokemon breeder, stood at the edge of the lavender fields, his heart heavy with worry. His family had tended these fields for generations, but now the plants were withering, their once vibrant flowers turning brown and brittle. He had tried everything: fertilizers, careful watering, and even remedies passed down through generations, but nothing worked. Desperation drove him to seek the help of the villagers, but they only whispered of ancient legends. They spoke of a mystical Gardevoir who was said to appear among the lavender when the land was in great need. She was known to possess the power to heal the earth itself, but no one had seen her in decades. Gardevoir is a guardian of balance, the village elder had said. If the fields are suffering, perhaps there is something deeper at play. But be warned, young Joran. She only answers to those who truly understand the connection between the land and the heart. Determined, Joran set out into the heart of the lavender fields at dawn, where the mist still clung to the flowers, and the air was fragrant with the last remnants of the lavender's scent. He walked for hours, calling out to Gardevoir, pleading for her help, but there was no answer. Just as the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the horizon, a soft glow appeared on the far side of the fields. Joran's breath caught in his throat as the glowing figure of Gardevoir emerged, her elegant form floating just above the ground, her gown billowing in the breeze as if she were one with the lavender itself. Her eyes, filled with wisdom, met his, and without a word, she spoke directly into his mind. "Why do you seek me, young one?" Joran's heart pounded, but he swallowed his nerves. I need your help. The lavender is dying, and with it, my family's livelihood. The village depends on this land. Please, can you save it?" Gardevoir tilted her head slightly, her expression unreadable. The land's suffering is but a reflection of something deeper. To heal it, you must understand the connection between your heart and the earth. Only then will the fields bloom again. Joran felt a wave of confusion and frustration. He was just a breeder. He worked with Pokemon, not ancient magic. But he nodded. "I'll do whatever it takes." Chapter 2 The Healing Touch. For the next few days, Gardevoir guided Joran through the fields, teaching him not with words, but with feelings, emotions, and subtle gestures. She showed him the energies that flowed through the earth, the way the plants responded not just to water and nutrients, but to the emotions and care of those who tended them. Joran learned to walk barefoot through the soil, feeling its warmth and vitality. He spent hours meditating among the lavender, focusing on his bond with the land, feeling its pulse beneath his feet. As the days passed, he began to notice things he had never seen before. The way certain areas of the field seemed more alive than others, the way some plants thrived while others withered. One evening, as they stood together at the edge of the field, Gardevoir spoke again. "The land reflects the hearts of those who tend it. You carry a burden of doubt, fear, and exhaustion. You've poured all your energy into saving these fields, but you've forgotten the most important connection, the one between you and the earth." Joran felt a lump in his throat. He had always worked hard, always done his best to care for the fields, but in his desperation to save them, he had lost sight of why he had started this work in the first place. It wasn't just about keeping the Vidishim, the village, alive. It was about his family's legacy, about the love and care that had been passed down from generation to generation. Gardevoir extended her hand toward him, her soft glow intensifying as the lavender fields around them seemed to shimmer with new life. If you wish to heal the land, you must first heal yourself. Jorn closed his eyes, feeling a surge of emotion as the truth of her words hit him. He had been so focused on the outward signs of decay that he had ignored the inner imbalance within himself. He needed to let go of his fear, his frustration, and his doubts. He needed to remember the joy and love he had always felt for this place. As he opened his eyes, Gardevoir's glow intensified, and she gestured toward the fields. Slowly, she moved her hands in a graceful motion, and Jorn could feel the energy around him shifting. The lavender plants closest to them began to straighten, their withered leaves turning green again, their flowers blooming with vibrant color. It was as if the land itself was breathing again. Chapter 3. Restoring Life. Over the next few days, the transformation of the lavender fields continued. Gardevoir's presence seemed to rejuvenate the very soil, and with Jorin's renewed connection to the earth, the fields began to recover at a faster rate than he ever thought possible. But it wasn't just the physical recovery that amazed him. It was the spiritual one. Jorn found himself spending more and more time among the plants, not out of desperation, but out of a newfound appreciation for the bond between him, the land, and his Pokemon. His work with the fields was no longer just a task to be completed. It was a living, breathing relationship, one that required patience, care, and balance. One evening, as the sun began to set and the fields were once again full of life, Jorn noticed something he hadn't seen before. His Pokemon, a Leafeon and a Blossom, were frolicking happily among the blooms, their energy perfectly in sync with the rejuvenated land. It was as if they, too, had felt the shift in energy. Gardevoir stood at the edge of the field, her eyes glowing softly as she watched the scene unfold. She turned to Jorn, her expression serene. The land has healed, but it is not my doing alone. You have learned the most important lesson, the connection between the heart and the earth. Never forget it. Jorn smiled, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. Thank you, Gardevoir. I didn't realize how much I was missing. With a final nod, Gardevoir began to fade, her form dissolving into the twilight, but her presence lingered in the air. The lavender fields were alive again, not just with the plant's recovery, but with a new sense of purpose and harmony. As the weeks passed, the villagers marveled at the recovery of the lavender fields. The plants bloomed more vibrantly than ever before, their scent carried on the breeze as a symbol of hope and renewal. Jorn's family farm prospered once more, and the village flourished with the return of the herbs and medicines they had relied on for so long. But more than that, Jorn had found something he hadn't realized he had lost. The love for his work, the connection to the land, and the understanding that the strength of the earth was tied to the strength of the heart. And every now and then, when the wind swept through the lavender fields, Jorn could almost hear Gardevoir's voice in his mind, a soft reminder that balance and healing came from within. The fields of Velora Valley never withered again, and the legend of Gardevoir, the guardian of the lavender fields, grew even stronger in the hearts of the people. But for Jorn, it was more than just a legend. It was the truth he carried with him every day as he worked among the lavender, his heart full and his bond with the earth unbreakable.